Does anybody know what this is? Don't all jump in at the same time, baby. Let me answer it for you. I'm going to tell you anyways. I'm that teacher, right? I'm that teacher that asks a question, but I'm going to give you the answer. This is a persimmon. Okay, they have the smaller ones that are smaller and chunky. This one, it has to be something a little bit, it's a different persimmon from probably a different region. I got to do my Google. I got to Google this sucker, right? But I usually eat the little ones. But this persimmon right here is what Uriah named Percy off of. Okay, you see Percy, my orange cat? Yeah, he orange like this persimmon, baby, yes. But y'all, man, when I tell you, I got a little story to tell y'all. Okay, it has like an acidy taste in the background. My kids don't like it at all. I love it. It has like a waxy feel in your mouth. It's different than the smaller one. The smaller one don't have that waxy feeling. They love that one. But this one right here, I like it. I mean, it's pretty good to me. It's fruit. But y'all, so today, okay, I had an interview today. Okay. Okay, but the thing about this interview that strikes me that was so different that it drew a bunch of red flags. Okay, let me tell you about it. The first one is when they told me, be here between 3 and 3:30. Remember I told y'all earlier that there must be something that I should be doing right now? Yeah. So all of interview just popped up out of the blue, right? So I had an interview. And they told me between 3 and 3:30. Now, every interview that I've ever had with a job, they give you a specific time, right? It's either be here at 3 or be here at 3:30. Never between 3 and 3:30. That was like, it struck me as odd. But the first red flag was when I called, nobody answered. And all of a sudden my phone rings and I answer it, and there's a guy on there and he's saying, did you just call? I'm like, oh, who the heck is this? Did I call you, sir? And he told me the name of the company and that he just missed my call. I said, okay then. I said, who are you? He said, oh, I'm the owner. I said, okay, that's gravy. All right, so we talked about pay wages. We talked about what my duties would be. We talked about all that stuff right there. But the thing is, another red flag, when I asked him, was he affiliated with a government-funded company, he was shocked and amazed. He said, why? Why you asking? Why you asking? I said, boy, I'm just asking. I'm just curious, right? I'm just seeing if you're affiliated with them, right? So he was like, yes, we are. But okay, I'm going to let my people call you. I said, all right. So that's when they called me and we set it up. And they said between 3 and 3:30. I was like, oh, okay then. So I get there, right? I get there at about 3:10. And I do the damn thing, go through the process of, where your ID at, here, fill this here out, do this, do that. And I'm like, okay, I'm chilling. I'm in it to win it. So I sit there. The receptionist comes and she says, give us 5 minutes. I said, all right, 5 minutes is all you get, sucker. I didn't tell her that, but that's what I was thinking. So she just sitting there. I'm watching her at her desk, baby. When I tell you, this girl on TikTok, this girl on Facebook, I'm looking at her and I'm like, 5 minutes for what, sis? Okay, then. Let me just let that slide. Meanwhile, remember we talked about that intuition earlier. My gut's flipping. It is flipping. Okay? My guts is telling me, sis, exit the building. Exit stage left. But I'm like, okay, I'm going to give him a few minutes. Meanwhile, I hear the jefe, the big jefe, which means the big boss in the room. She clucking her little shoes on the ground. Cluck, cluck, cluck. And I'm like, so if she got time to cluck, why she ain't got time to chit-chat with the girl, right? I'm sitting here waiting. I said, okay. I'm going to give her some time. All right. 3:30. All right. Sis, I'm going to give you time. 3:40. I said, oh, to God be the glory, baby. Time is money, and money is for damn show time. Let's go. 3:40. I said, hold up. Hold up, Watts. They said, all right, come on. Come in here. Me and the receptionist walk in that room where the big jefe at. the big chief. That girl said, "Oh, I'm sorry, ma'am. Could you give me a few minutes?" I said, "Girl, you done had too many of my minutes, baby. You done had too many of my time, right? You done soaked up about 20 good minutes out of my whole life, and I ain't gonna let you do no more." Baby, when I tell you, I got on my phone, I called my son. I called Uriah. I said, "Baby, what you doing?" By this time, I'm trying to get out the front door of the building. Why the front door locked? You heard me. L-O opt. Okay, the front door locked. I'm like, wait a minute. These heifers still up in the office chit-chatting about I don't know what she saw on TikTok or what, baby, but this girl right here ain't come here for that look. Pay me like I weigh, and if you gonna do that, you gonna have to pay me. All right? So I'm standing at the door, and I'm just like telling this lady. She finally walks out the office, and I'm like, "Hey, sis, how I get out this door to take this phone call?" That girl looked at me and said, "Oh, you just kicked the bottom part of it." Baby, when I tell you, I ain't moved that fast in my life. I'm talking to Uriah on the phone. I'm like, "Baby, the vibe is off about this place." This boy told me, "Mom, from the minute you was talking to them, I knew it was a cultish situation going on." I said, "Why you didn't tell your mama, baby? You had all this good feeling and intuition in your gut and you didn't tell your mama nothing?" "Oh, baby." Okay, that's the gut feeling that I had. I said, this is some weird cultish stuff going on. I gotta let you see it for you to understand, right? I gotta let you feel it for you to understand. I gotta let you be in the vibes, in the moment, in the setting for you to understand what I'm talking about, a cultish situation, baby. My son said, "Mom, I'm glad you got out of there. Now you need to check your rear view mirrors, Mom." I said, "Why? You think they following me?" He said, "Yes." And as soon as he said that, baby, my phone started ringing off the chain. 15 minutes after I left, got in my car and drove off, they decided to call me. I was out. Look, first thing, smoking, I was down the road. So, you know, the thing is, I feel like a lot of these companies, they feel like at this point in the game, a lot of people are so desperate, so worried about making this money, and so worried about living, and so worried about all these things and all these bills that they got to pay, right? That they will do anything to get them funds, baby. And you don't have to do that, use those scary tactics against people, because there's a lot of good people out here that's willing to work and willing to do the damn thing for all these companies out here. But when you keep getting played left and right, played like a fiddle, mind you, okay, it's hard for you to be a good employee, right? So put all the shenanigans to the side. If you want to be an owner of a company, if you want to be a manager of a company, a CEO of a company, you got to have a heart and you got to have a soft place, because people out here in these streets looking for work, not because they need it, because they have to. You know what I'm saying? Even though my daddy say the only thing you have to do is die. D-I-E. Okay, so at some point it don't comes like I have to get this job or I have to do this. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's coming to the realization that this thing right here that we in, this game that we in, baby, it don't require all that breaking of the back. It don't require all that breaking of your spirit, right? It don't require all of that. So companies should have more of a heart. But at this point, as we can see, the game is heartless. And you have to really, really have some good intuition to see it. All right? So y'all, don't do too much, y'all. And if you feel it in your gut, and your gut is speaking to you, head for the hills. Head for the hills. Try use some persimmon. I just call them permission. It is what it is. I love y'all. I'll talk to y'all later.